This whole thing is weird.
I know. Good old Mercury retrograde. Well, lots of planets retrograde. Making us pay attention. When things are retrograde, you have to pay attention.
Just didn't want to know. Best to keep things in the shallow end, 'cause I never quite learned how to swim. I just didn't want to know. I didn't want. Close my eyes just to look at you, taken by the seamless vision. I close my eyes, ignore the smoke, ignore the smoke, ignore the smoke. Calling out down my sheets, turning with such a lovely counter for you. Calling out down my sheets, turning blue. Just didn't want to know. Mistook the nods for approval. Just ignore the smoke and smile.
say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body. Because I am more than physical matter, I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world. I deeply desire to expand, to experience, to know, to understand, to control, to use such greater energies and energy systems as may be beneficial and constructive to me and to those who follow me. I deeply desire the help and cooperation, the assistance, the understanding of those individuals whose wisdom, development, and experience are equal to or greater than my own. I ask their guidance and protection from any influence or any source that might provide me with less than my stated desires.
Do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. Do not claim to know the ultimate truth about fire. I see that which has been made hidden as a part of a family amongst lords of consciousness. I am the void one.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Broadcasting live from a shack on a hill in the Mossy Creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void Live. I know it's been a minute, but we're going to kick it off with Cosmic Conditions. Thank God Almighty. Mary Ducina is here with us, and it is the Scorpio new moon, so this ought to be pretty interesting. I hope everybody had after Halloween a happy post-Halloween. And like I said, I had to start a new job and project and training and stuff, so I was going to be gone for a while, but we are kicking it back off with Cosmic Conditions. So Mary Ducina is here with us to give us our monthly forecast. We do this every new moon, every time the moon goes dark. Mary, it's good to have you back. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your patience.
Thank you. Blessings, audience, and congratulations on your new job, your new adventure and skills, and finding out new vistas and aspects about yourself. Scorpio this is not an easy new moon. You know, I never play pretend with the audience or you, Joe. This is not an easy new moon. It is an intense lunation cycle, and I didn't really focus on this till today. I was, doing research on the moons of the year because as of this week, do you realize we only have 6 Mondays left until the new year? 2026 begins, the year of the horse. And this new moon is an interesting moon. A lot of people hear about blood moons and blue moons, and this one is a micro moon. And so the new moon on November 20th, 2025, for when this gets archived up on YouTube, it's a micro moon. So that kind of moon happens when the moon's at its furthest point from Earth and its orbit. So it makes this one actually, this part I didn't know. It fascinated me. And I'm like, I have got to share this with the audience. This particular new moon, this one right up in here at 28 degrees of Scorpio that happened on my time zone, like 1:47 a.m. A lot of people I've been talking to this week have had sleep disturbance issues, restless sleep, let's say. It's the smallest appearing new moon until, wait for it, the year of 2043.
Oh, damn.
So it's at its apogee. It's at its furthest point right now. And it just happens to be, what perigee is when it's closer, apogee is when it's further. And I was looking back at the moons of this year. I don't think we even mentioned anything about micro moons in this year, Joe. So I was looking back at it, but this one is the big damn deal. But there was a micro full moon back in May. And the reason I bring that up over May 11th and 12th, here we are in the Scorpio solar season of 2025. Solar, the sun being more of our external happenings, how we learn about the depths of ourselves from outside events, other people, other words. Sometimes we're going to inspire people. Other times we're going to trigger people. And I'm going to tell you, both of them are also medicine. So whether you get triggered, that's a healing medicine. It's a self-learning medicine, course-correcting medicine. If you inspire, although that can feel easier or better, they're still both medicines. They still, one gives more of a radical reaction, and we have to look at ourselves. Just look at yourself. And Scorpio is all about there. Take a look at yourself. So because Scorpio is the eyes, and Scorpio are the things that are hidden, and Scorpio's like, even when you look at the insect of the scorpion, it likes to hide in wood piles. It likes to, when I was doing land surveying work in my late teens in Florida, I was the first female land surveyor in the west coast of Florida. Yeah, I know, I had to do something different. And it was good money, and I wanted to buy a car. And it was like, yeah, this is a good time. But I still had to do all the grunt work. But I was amazed, and even though I knew about being the sign of Scorpio, when we would be getting lumber to go like tap the wooden laths down to identify the property corners, had to go out and do city property and measurements and what was private and what was city property, blah, 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 boring stuff. Out in the field, tourist stuff. I mean, we went out in trucks and we went out in the field. And the wood piles, you had to watch for that in Florida. And I didn't know about scorpions in Florida. I thought those things were probably like up in the woods and the mountains and things. And then when I moved to North Carolina, they were in my stacked wood pile. And then when I got to Tennessee, sometimes they would come up, in the water, the drains of the bathtub. If you didn't use the bathtub for a while, there'd be a black scorpion. And I quickly learned that the smaller scorpions can hurt a lot more than the big ones, So those smaller ones pack a punch. So it's what's hidden is Scorpio. And so what we've been going through, it's highly emotional. Even though there will be another Scorpio new moon, each one of these full moons, each one of these new moons, they have different mathematical degrees. They're different tools in our toolbox. Somebody might own a claw hammer. Somebody might own a flathead screwdriver or a spiral type of a screwdriver. So there's different tools for different moments and projects. And so the tools that we have for this particular 2025 it's just Mr. Toad's wild ride, because Scorpio already, just the spice of the sign, regardless of what any of our signs are, and it doesn't matter if you have prominent Scorpio in your chart when it comes to this aspect of the medicine and the wisdom of Scorpio. Scorpio season every year, some less intense than others. This one's intense, but it brings up what needs to come to the surface, the chapters that need to close, the stories that are ending. And sometimes we like it, but a certain chapter's over with. We like it, but that we're getting to the end of the story, and we got the punchline, and we got the reason for the inspiration of the truth teaching, and I completed the meditation, and I did that yoga pose. So it can be endings like graduations and accomplishments, and wow, good job, attaboy, pat on the back. Scorpio will take you to that kind of determined dedication. But first and foremost, Scorpio is about the needed alchemy. And I'm going to take that spiritual for a minute. Scorpio, different than just like the baptism of Pisces or the getting baptized in a river instead of inside the church like Cancer the Crab, getting out into nature. Scorpio's the baptism, the death, and then the ascension. So Scorpio is that The only way to grow from it, my favorite statement about how does Scorpio hit in your natal chart, how does Scorpio arrive in your life? The only way is you're going to have to go through it in order to grow from it. You're going to have to go through the experience in order to be able to grow from the whole thing. And so sometimes it's so intense that we're frustrated and we get angry or we're afraid. It's like this one, shadow work meets rebirth with Scorpio. It's like, what do we need to let wash off of us? And it's standing in the shower after we've been out in the yard or doing, dirty work kind of a thing. This new moon is a cosmic reset that we didn't know we were craving. It's kind of like, why won't my life change? Why is it always like this? Well, I finally recognized what my patterns are. I finally recognized what my psychological early life theater threw at me. I'm seeing my strengths. I'm beginning to get comfortable with my strengths, even in the face of tragedy or difficulty. But I got to get out of this loop. There's one here that seems to nag at me. And quite often, it's our most private personal lives that those kind of things challenge us. So this Scorpio energy doesn't care about anybody's or any of the 12 signs surface pretending. This one, with all these water signs I'm going to mention in a minute, it cares about truth and depth and transformation. Are you willing to sit with yourself and say something on the order of, what am I done carrying? What is the weight of another, my family, myself, the breakup, the fear of me getting started again with this or that or them? What am I done carrying? And what part of me is ready now to rise higher so I can look at it from a different perspective? So Scorpio will do self-punishment because Scorpio doesn't tolerate self-betrayal. It will invite to the dance emotional honesty. It will invite to the dance release and rebirth. But the old story's got to fall away, as it is the sign of death, rebirth. It is ruled by Pluto, co-ruled by Mars. And it's about, okay, we didn't come to life with the end of this lifetime with the promise of you're just going to skate through it. Everybody's going to kiss your ass. Everything's going to be nice all the way through. We came here to evolve. We came here to come to honor and prioritize our soul contracts, our mission. It isn't about being hit by punishing karma all the time. I absolutely know there's such a thing as building good karma credit and having a good karma balance. So, but it's us that has to participate. So this, in a nutshell, the bottom line of Scorpio is you got to let the old story fall away that seems to be putting cracks in its exterior. We got to let the new one pulse through our spirit. So the key words are like, we're feeling this electrical surge because it's opposing the planet Uranus. And so there's an electrical charge to this. It's both a pulsation, and it's like we've got this urge to purge. There's a surging of energy like electricity, or when you put your foot on the gas on the motorcycle or a riding mower or a car, it's just like, I'm ready to do this, kind of. So there's that intensity. I promise you over the next, especially last night, tonight, and the next night, but basically over the next 2 weeks until we come to that final moon of this year, the moon in Gemini, that has a whole bunch of options and is really favorable for marketing and sales and attaboys and attagirls. Your intuition is very loud tonight, but it's speaking to you. It's not loud for other people to notice it. And will you trust it? Scorpio is that field of faith, where we have to say, well, I've let my ego do it, and I've let my anger answer it, and I've let my kindness and my hope and my vulnerability participate in different things with this or that. So maybe now I'll just trust it. My power, and it is, you're not imagining this, your power, abilities, what you came in with, your gifts and your powers and your talents, and the power of your words and the talents of your creativity and your uniqueness and your ability to go, well, why not take a risk? Sometimes you just got to do it. So it's like your power is close now. It's closer than usual. I'd just like you to claim it. I claim my power. I'm one with the light. I allow my angelic intervention to allow me to be divinely aligned in all that I do, even if it's just I'm safe when I'm pumping gas out there in the cray-cray world. So this is a rebirth. The moment we decide that our power is real and raw and vibrant, and we don't let our mind talk us out of it or imagine us into some kind of fear zone again or jungle of what about this and what about that. So this is, we got to claim it. We got to receive it, and the rebirth moment, the baptism and the rising and the ascension is the moment that we can decide that it is, decide that it does work. It is our formula. We came in with it with our first breath. And it's kind of like when people say words in an odd way, like this is the kind of new moon to where you're now able to see what's always been there for you, like it's been there. And it's like getting out of just one type of a matrix view, only one type of a mountaintop view. All of a sudden, you've made it to the top of the mountain. Oh, my God, look at that. It's Grandfather Mountain. Look at those Blue Ridge Mountains. Absolutely heaven on earth. And then you see an elk in Gatlinburg, or then you see an eagle fly right across your path, or the stray dog runs to you for you to help it and pet it and post about it. And so there's something about from the letting go and the dying away of what used to put you in some kind of a prison emotionally, or put you in some kind of a stagnation. Sometimes when I talk to a lot of people, a lot of clients, the stagnation bothers them even more than the ups and the downs. So the big question of this, so instead of me telling you about all the planets first, I'm telling you about the theme of this, regardless of your sign. Ask yourself, what version vision of me am I stepping into starting right now? What will I allow? So we've got Mercury is Cazimi with the sun. Mercury at retrograde is flipped into Scorpio, and everything's happening at this between 25, 28, 29 degrees. Saturn, 25 degrees of water element. We're feeling it. Water element. We're restless. We have faith, but we also have some insecurities that we're just overriding with our field of faith. We've got Saturn at Pisces retrograde. Neptune is in Pisces retrograde. And we've got Jupiter in Cancer. And then we've got, it's a kite. And then we've got, when you have a grand trine, when you have three planets involved in the same element, water, it's very pronounced. We have numerologically the sun and the moon at 28 degrees early this morning in Eastern time zone, at 28 of Scorpio. Mercury hitting 28 of Scorpio, meaning it's kissing the face of the sun. It's Cazimi. And so this is not our imagination. It's not whatever's been haunting us, whatever we've been quietly struggling with, that we're afraid, oh no, I hope that's not happening to me. And oh gosh, what will I do if A and B happen and then I got to go make a fast decision of D? You know, what am I not giving thought to that could be a long-term ramification of an action? See the difference? Not just your actions. There are some external things that are going on because Uranus opposing this, and it's all happening near the heart of the Scorpion. So Uranus is having this highly electrical energy, also retrograde in Taurus. It slipped back into Taurus. That alone takes us back to 2008 when it was starting one of those cycles, and it's impacting. We're feeling different in our nervous system. We're feeling creative. We're both inspired by how somebody's saying something, or our feathers get ruffled real quick at how it's being said to it. You know, but we're sentient beings. And so our electrical charges and our nervous system seem to be at high settings right now, like our pilot lights are lit. And I feel this week, as I'm looking at all these planets, I think it's prudent of us, it's wise of us to take those precautions to soothe and support our own body's communication system. So it might be taking a little extra time for sleep or meditation or nature, or taking conscious, deeper breaths, grabbing better sleep if you can, even maybe at odd times. You may need to hydrate. Just this week, I just said, you know what? I'm going to open up one of those Gurananda electrolyte lemon lime powders. I'm going to put it in my water. This is a really intense time with this new moon, and I'm going to bless my electrical system. So whether you take B12 or you get one of those cool little electrolyte powders, like instead of Gatorade or instead of Pedialyte, that's the old way of getting it into babies or people if they're getting dehydrated. They now have these really cool different flavored powders. I've even seen them at the big box dollar stores. But I actually found the one that I like that's a Hindu company called Gurunanda. They do good essential oils too. And you get a 2-pack for like, I don't know, like $1.50. So I put the whole packet in. You can put it in your iced tea. You can put whatever. But it gives you those minerals that you need. It's like, it starts to water your body. And I'm like, the element's really dancing with water right now. 2 planets in Pisces, Jupiter in Cancer, the crab, and the sun and the moon and Mercury and Lilith, and dancing around in Scorpio. We're in an oceanic type of thing. And so we're in an aquarium. We're in the aqua part of ourselves. So breathing deeper doesn't cost you anything. Do that when you're first getting up. Do that when you're first wanting to slip into sleep. Just slow that breath down. Of course, magnesium, B vitamins, adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha, taking a mushroom complex that can help you. For a lot of people I'm talking to this week, they're like, yeah, I'm good with cannabis or a little THC gummy myself. It's been pretty intense. So I got a lot of people laughing about, I'd like a little extra aid here with this. So there's a grand trine. That's opportunity is in motion, not because of anything you did. It's just out there in the celestial portrait. One of the things that we're looking, what's different about this new moon rather than the late October new moon? This one is about the wheels that are put into motion. And so Jupiter is happy. It's very well positioned in empathic sign of Cancer, Moonchild, the crab. And Saturn is compassionate in Pisces. And Neptune in Pisces is helping us clear the fog, because at the end of January, just sooner than you think, in 2026, we're going to get that Saturn-Neptune thing start to come back again in the fire element of Aries. So right now, this configuration, we might have a dream of one of our beloveds in spirit that has a message, not just a dream, not just an appearance. There's a message. There's a moment. There's symbology. It's high medicine. And so our intuition is just, our intuitive antennas are humming. I mean, you can almost hear them. And then our imagination and our dreams. This is really the dream work and the dream symbols and the energetic energy that's happening right now is telling us that our most important spiritual growth doesn't happen only and always when we're meditating, making love, or on a yoga mat. It happens many times in the midst of a crisis or chaos or conflict, when each of us feel that we're frustrated, we're angry, we're scared. We may be acting angry, but underneath that layer, like the scorpion under the rock or the woodpile, we're scared. And we're doing the same old thing, and then we suddenly realize, oh, we have a choice, and I can do it differently. So sometimes I'll say to friends or clients, here's the truth. The truth is we all got a sad story. We either make it our excuse or we make it our motivation. So now some of the little particulars. 28 degrees. 28 in numerology adds to 10. When you add the 2 and the 8, it adds to 10, and it's a 1. We have the Magi. We have the Magician card in the tarot, very active with this. Of course, the 13 of the Death Transition card of Scorpio and the major trumps of the tarot. We've got the cups or the hearts or the card element that's dancing with us right now. Easily. This new moon could be the Ace of Cups. It easily could be the Magician standing on the left of, like, this is magic that needed to go into motion, because whether you're still chicken or scared or not, about 6 months ago in May, you knew something had to change. You knew that you weren't going to keep doing it, being it the same way, and attracting the same thing with the same type of results. You were going to get out of the hypnosis of your subconscious, and you were going to have to step that toe out there, dive off that diving board and say, you know what? It might not work. It might work, but I'm not going to know if I stay stagnant. So this Scorpio new moon is moving us out of the stagnation. The 28, the 1, the 10, even in the tarot, is the Wheel of Fortune card, and it spins, and it's in motion. The Wheel of Fortune, the medicine wheel, the astrological wheel. The 4 signs out of all 12 that are most impacted over the next 2 weeks until we get to the full moon in Gemini are going to be people that are born in the latter part of the sign of Scorpio, and it's opposite Taurus. So pretty much the Scorpios that are born in November, the Tauruses that are born in May, the Leos that are born in August rather than the early ones in July, and the Aquarians that are born in February more than late January. So these are the signs that the spotlight's jumping on because it's a fixed element moon. I do feel psychically that Leos and Scorpios are getting hit strongest with this. Taurus is sorting through a lot of things, and they have to watch getting a little OCD with the planning and the frustration of that. And the Aquarians right now are like, yeah, I can feel it. Yep, I can feel it. I'm about to be the court jester, and I'm about to bust a move. And those people that haven't really been acknowledging all that I am in their life and all that I've done in their life and all that I, am as a team player and make things happen, yeah, I'm about to let them miss me. So Aquarians are the wild card right now. So these four signs, Leo and its opposite Aquarius, Scorpio and its balance and opposite Taurus, those four signs are feeling the pressure about what's controlling them, where they need to release control. Are they listening to the people in their life that matter the most, and are they kicking to the curb the contacts and the connections that are stable in their life? So we've got to go with what's our stable foundation. That little scorpion insect may pack quite the poisonous sting, the hurtful sting, but it still needs to find its wood pile. It still needs to get underneath the rock. So we all need that safe shelter, some of the old rock songs, give me shelter type of the thing. So there's has been emotional stagnation and inertia, but Uranus opposing all this in Taurus and getting along with Jupiter in Cancer, that's the kite, and Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. There's a grand trine, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, and then there's also that kite point. Looks just like a kite you fly in the air, where we've got that Taurus energy that's opposing the four elements in Scorpio right now, but Taurus gets along with Cancer and Pisces. And so what it's saying to us, even to me in the statement that it's the furthest moon away since 2043, is that it's like, you already have a wise sage. You already have an ability to consult the most important oracle that you could possibly consult. It's your heart. It's your soul. It's listening to your intuition. That might mean that you need another dose, a higher dose of looking at your hidden motives, being honest with yourself, pausing for the cause, more stillness. Scorpio is going to analyze it and be mindful of the communication that unlocks a type of resurrection, ascension and resurrection, because Scorpio is also the rise. It's the phoenix. It's, some cultures, it's the eagle on the medicine wheel. There's the scorpion. There's the snake. This is the year of the snake. And then there's the phoenix that rises. It rises from its own spontaneous combustion. So I feel like I was studying some of the configurations of lunar cycles and when it bounced back, and Mars, going through Scorpio and bouncing in Sag now, and the sun going into Sag tomorrow. Got that water fire thing going on. And I hearkened back to the eclipse patterns of 2018 and 2019. So where we were maybe immersed in some of our life lessons being somewhat heavy and dark and drippy, emotionally and psychologically, I would just like all of you, all signs, because we all have Scorpio somewhere in our chart, to look back at where it was that you felt like you were kind of coming out of quicksand. That year of 2018 and 2019, you could have been taking care of someone. You could have lost an animal. It could have been a radical relocation that you said, that's it, I've had it, I'm out of here. There's some kind of volcanic thing that could have happened. And I feel even that Mother Nature, we could see some underwater volcanic type of things like that Mariana Ridge, that there's parts in the earth where fresh water meets salt water, and then there's depths of the ocean that I don't think we've figured out all the mysteries of our Mother Ocean. I just don't. Sometimes, we humans go a little haughty and we think it's all figured out with AI and drones and how we can check people's histories online and all that. And I have found over the last 6 months more unreliability of what I used to enjoy about the internet, what I used to enjoy about surfing the web or being able to research it. I'm finding a lot more false information. And easily can see that in the category of my 40 years of expertise, I'm saying really wrong things online with the astrological AI. I'm like, wait a minute. I even posted one of them, Joe, because I was looking at the Venus retrograde, because when you're an experienced astrologer, I'm 6 months ahead already with where the planets are. I'm memorizing the eclipses of 2026, and I'm like, oh, Venus retrogrades in the autumn of 2026. And I went on the internet just to get the date because my ephemeris was in another room, and it said Venus will retrograde in March and April of 2026. And I went, no, it isn't. So then I really got down to the papers and the internet and the astrology sites, and I'm like, oh man, that's wrong. And there's a strong younger generation off TikTok and everything that's enjoying, they just read and believe the first thing they read astrologically. So sometimes it is true, you get what you pay for, and sometimes things are like incredible gifts that are free and that we do our research with. But I'm going to tell you, Scorpios also nefarious secrets, people that have not your best intentions at heart. It can be absolutely one of the archetypes of Scorpio, besides the magician, can be the vampire. It's the monsters in the closet or the monster under the bed. And oftentimes the monster is an archetype or a symbol of what it is that we've had a hard time facing, we're not ready to face, and maybe when we're children, it's from a former soul lifetime. Maybe it's something embedded in our memory banks, our Akashic records, and it's beginning to come up because we're so fresh as little innocent lambs and children. So this is a reincarnational type of new moon. There's a lot of ancient wisdom. If the soul's evolving and reincarnation is true, and God is able to create us in his own image and wants to do that more than once, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Certainly seems complicated, like the story might keep going on, and we keep walking forward multidimensionally and interstellarly. So I feel like that this is about really vivid liberations rather than limitations, really vivid, intuitive knowings about, whoa, was that a dream? Was that me in another time and place? Was that multidimensional? Did I just timeline jump backwards or forwards? All of that's possible. And then I also feel like that we are being granted a vision and an assurance that if we were making ourselves a piece of pottery, or we were a creator like the great I Am and Great Spirit and Holy Spirit and God, and creating, if we could move in one with the divine, and we could correct some things about ourselves, and we could create ourselves in a multifaceted, better version of ourselves. This is a cycle over the next 2 weeks for us to make it okay, and to have faith and believe in the fact of like, yeah, I can do that alchemy. So I kind of named this Scorpio intense water new moon, I kind of named it, Joe, combustible alchemy. Yeah, like it's, the soup's ready. The recipe's perfect. The soup's ready. It's just getting ready to come to a boil, and it's going to be nourishing, and it's a good stew or a healthy soup, and it's like we're being fed, but there's work to be done, and there's commitments to honor, and there's a steadiness that we need. The opposite sign of Scorpio is Taurus, so we've got to be steady with the things that we're wanting to be blessed by or to attain. So Scorpio is the 8th house. It is about other people's resources, the guy that opened the business, the woman that's the real estate agent for the house, the former owners. So Scorpio is the 8th house. It's about, why am I over here looking at this to manifest, and who are the people involved in this over here? And let me look back first with all these retrograde planets of where I'm sitting right now, and whether I see them as much or I agree with them at all. Who are the people that were very integral as parts of the story for me to be here right now? And I feel it's good medicine for us. I don't care whether you're agreeing with their personalities or you're really frustrated and worn out with their challenges. In that prayer, in that deeper breath, there's this too. Here's the big alchemy. Thank you. And I remind myself, and I stand forth now because of the respect. I bless all the people that in any small, medium, or big way were a point of inspiration and safety and shelter in my life. These are my medicine people. These are the people that even if it was just a one-time temporary, let me in again, let it, gave us a soft place to land type of a thing, man, I honor you. And so whether we're even talking to them as much or not, you want to send out that, I see you, you saw me, you were there for me, and I'm absolutely putting golden halos and wings around you because of you didn't have to do it, didn't have to care, could have looked the other way. Scorpio's the eyes, the I am. So you saw me and you looked my way and you were a part of that directional shift. So Scorpio's also telling us when we talk about paying it forward and who might, in some kind of spontaneous, trust your intuition in the moment in a spontaneous way. Who might you get really creative as a wizard, as an alchemist, as a magician, and just put a little bright light in somebody's day? And let me give you this one example. It cost me $2. This one example, I had went to a lunch, and I had a couple of friends. They asked me if they could knock it out, even though I was driving. Could we just go and get a few of these grocery items? And I'm thinking, oh, God, it's podcast night. Okay. Because I really like to study. And I said, okay, Mary, step out of the box. You don't always have to be the, that. You always study. You always bring all the receipts. So it's okay. Be in the moment. And my one friend forgot that she could get 2 turkeys because she spent so much. So she went back to get another turkey for 47 cents a pound. I agree with that. That's a great deal. And there was a man, a really big mountain man. And he was with 2 little girls, maybe like 3 or 4. And they were looking at all the little candies and things like grocery stores put there conveniently. And he's very gently shaking his head going, no. And the little girls had you could tell they already ate something sweet because they had red stuff all around their lips and stuff. And so he was so quiet. He was like a big old bear. And I'm like, boy, he's doing. And so the friend that had to go back and get the turkey, he was behind her. So he was waiting, and you know how it is when you're waiting with your kids or your grandkids and they're that age, when they've got a friend or something. So, she came back and she said to him, I'm so sorry I had to get out of line. And he said, no, it's fine. They were just quiet. He was just a quiet man. That man's like a mountain man. He's kind of like a mountain man. And here he is with no female in sight and the 2 cute little girls. It's an interesting yin-yang that I'm looking at. So, she checks out and we come over and we're getting ready to leave. And one of the little girls, one was a blonde and one was a brunette, kind of looked at me and kind of threw her hand up and waved. And I'm like, okay, Spirit, we're engaged in energy. I want to do something nice. But that guy was really patient because so many people can just be so snarky out there in the world because my one friend was older. And so I looked in my wallet and I'm like, oh, I got 2 $1 bills. And so I went over to him. Little girls, of course, as kids do, they're taking in everything. Who's this woman coming to talk to us? And I said to the little girls, hi, thank you for waving at me, but I'm going to give him $1 each for you. Look at my face. Please don't ever take the money from the stranger, no matter how nice they seem or how they look, he or she, whatever, him or your mom or whatever's going on. You make sure you take it from someone that's in your life and that is a good person, right? And they shook their heads yes. And I said, it's for you, but it's up to him. And I gave it to him, and he turned around and gave this little half grin, and he goes, that is so nice. And I said, no, it was nice how you handled it, that my friend had to hold up the line to do what it was. And of course, we had never even met eyes. I said, I'm just standing over waiting with the other friend, and I just want to tell you, that was classy in today's world, and I thought the girls behaved incredibly well, and you can decide what they do with it. And he said, I'm giving them the $1. They're getting the $1 right now. You gave it it's for them, and I'm handing, they grabbed that little $1, and they looked, and they didn't ask for squat, Joe. They were just so caught in the moment of how different it was, and I'm like, that right there for $2 was a nice, mystical, magical moment for several personalities. And my other neighbor was sitting over there, and I came back. She goes, you are so good. Those little girls, I was watching their face the whole time you were doing that. Those girls lit up. And I said, and that's the medicine. Everybody got a little light. And I didn't come up with that, Joe. It was like my guides are like, get in your wall. That's the way I tell my clients all the time. My guides, they're hard on me. You guys think I'm stern when I'm doing my discipline? They're like, hey, you do this now. Are you ready for that? I mean, they're just like, do it because we said so. And I'm not supposed to question that because I've questioned it a lot. But there was that moment, and time stood still, Joe. And there was in a day where it was just a regular old grocery store. It was really packed, and things were like the moving pieces were wanting to go. I knew right then as they left the store, I thought, oh, I can't tell you where it says it, maybe Hebrews, but that was one of those moments. And my guide said, now here's the back piece of the story. In the Bible where it says, for be certain to entertain angels, for be certain to entertain strangers, for there amongst them can be angels unaware. Now, that doesn't mean you trust every stranger. If it feels creepy, it is creepy. If it feels like you need to move away from it and ignore it, you do. There's vampire energy, too. But I thought, oh, that's it. They were like my little earth angels, like a puppy or a kitten, or the chicken, Joe, that came to you, or the horse. It's like that was a moment that there could be like a little mandala. There could be like a little mystical, magical spin of no matter what we're doing in life, magic can enter, magic can be in the moment, even though it's this date and this year, and it's timeless and it's birthless and it's deathless. And to me, that takes in this alchemical wheel that's spinning right now. And if you're familiar with the tarot, you look at the Magician card, you look at the Wheel of Fortune card, you look at the Death card, and you just kind of look at the symbols in those cards, and you realize tonight is a night that's never been lived before. We're living it right now. It's our blank canvas. Last night already happened. So the death is last night, what we did last night, what we dreamed last night, what we did, but it still can be a viable reference in the now. So it's that kind of like leapfrog. It's kind of like last night might have been restless. This night you're craving sweet sleep, and you're going to have a dream, and you're going to be able to finally release something that bothered you since the year of 2018 or 2019. And it's the death, it's the good death of that burden that's been haunting or taunting or pestering you, even though there's very few people you talk about it with, and it's there. But there's going to be the closing of a chapter that needs to be. Not all of that's easy. There's going to be the story that has to come to a conclusion. There could be the confrontation after fear or anger or avoidance or enabling to where we say, listen, we got to talk. Not going to say you're wrong, not going to say I'm wrong, not going to say I'm right or you're right all the time, but we got to get this thing on a more balanced. We got to get this here. We got to get
something steady and balanced, right?
Well, yeah, we've got to be fair to each other. Oftentimes I'll say, how can this be a win-win?
Right.
So it's that, but I'm not going to lie to people and tell them that there's not magic, and there might be some haunts, and there might be like, oh my God, am I at that edge of the precipice again? Yeah, probably, but this time, make a commitment with yourself as you breathe deeper and slower. That I had that surgery for a reason. I had that corrected in my physical body. I corrected that psychologically. I got over that fear. I don't take that medication anymore. I found so realize that your art in motion. There's things about you. Change isn't always going to be difficult. It might be challenging, but it's amazing when we let the story complete that we realize, oh my gosh, if I would just look backwards and look at what I thought was happening only in fifth grade, or to where I thought happened only in that marriage or that relationship, or when they died, how I changed and how I was challenged, and how yet they still live with me and they still walk with me, be it an animal or a person. How many times, Joe, do you and I talk about our grandmothers, our mamas? How many times do we talk about how they still have such a wonderful medicine presence in our life? They're just there. It's just there.
Yeah.
I don't have to see the spirit in a dream or them standing in front of me. I mean, it's there. I mean, I know it smells like them. It's their words. It's their voice. It's their whole energy package. And just like, oh, there it is.
That happened to me the other day. I was, you know how you say a prayer sometimes, and then I looked up. I think it was on my lunch break or something. I was like, Grandma, what do I need to do in this situation? And I swear on everything, I smelled her just like walk by. Your grandma has that familiar smell.
Absolutely.
And my grandmother's been dead for years, so that was really strange, but it was cool though. Yeah. I knew she was
real.
There. Yeah.
It was real, because when we come to the thinning of a lot of people talk about in Scorpios, we're coming to Halloween, Samhain, all these Celtic and Scottish and Irish and indigenous cultures, that it's the thinning of the veil between, even the Mexican culture, the Day of the Dead, they honor the ancestors, those that are in spirit. But the thinning of the veil, when you go back into Viking and you go back into Norse, studies, it's coming toward Yuletide. and solstice points, especially in the northern hemisphere, the northern solstice point, what we go through with the season of winter, and those three signs, those three zodiac signs of winter, they're coming. And now this year, what's signature about this year? All this yakety yak about Atlas third eye, Atlas 3i, this guy saying this, and I'm a Harvard scientist, and I say it's interstellar and extraterrestrial, and all this, it might as well be political. Everybody's yapping about that. And the big yap that happened about it wasn't Northern Lights, it was only HAARP. It wasn't. All I know is you walk outside and you feel it. And if it feels like it's for you, you throw your hands up, you thank the heavens, and you thank you for the landscape painting tonight. If it is HAARP, it's not going to feel good to you. You're going to want to get out of it, or you'll sleep. It's like, no, I'll sleep through it. So you've got to go out and feel it instead of just like this side A saying this, and side B saying this, and side B's making fun of side A if they say it's HAARP, and side A's making fun of B if they say it was the Northern Lights. And even if you have all these space weather things going, yeah, there was an X-class flare and it takes 3 days to get to Earth, and there was a lot of geomagnetic stuff. These people get so locked into I got to be right only rather than having a right moment. So we've got to disengage from, that's the rigidity of the fixed signs. Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus can get really locked and fixed on, I said it's this way and it's that way only. Maybe it can be that way for you or that way for me, but it's not, another person's doing just fine and it's not that way for them. I don't need to judge them. That's my work with me. But I can, and the boundary work that we have to do, especially in Scorpios, if they start snarking at me, it's going like, oh, you don't even want to go there. I'm so hard pass out of here. Trust me, you don't want to unlock this. Yeah, you go over there and have your opinion. I'm going to let you walk over there and have your opinion because you don't want to light this fuse. Trust me. And I'm wise enough that you're not going to get to suck onto my energy. So, yeah. And those things can go on intuitively in your head. So Scorpio into Capricorn, into the beginning of Yuletide, because that's Saturn, and Saturn right now is in Pisces. When you start to get to the complicated dances of these planet signs and degrees, they're all at what we call in astrology the anaretic or the critical degree. So the 28 on its way to 29 degrees of any sign is the big final, the rocket has left the launch pad. It's going. I mean, we get Sagittarius, tomorrow. So it's like, boom, the rocket of Scorpio is like, and to the heavens I return. The eagle's flying, the phoenix is happening, and so you might even in your visualizations or your meditations say, what would I burn in the bonfire? What would I let go? I'm the phoenix. I can feel that instead of a snake shedding its skin or the chicken pecking out of the egg, I'm rising. I am the wonderful heat, and I am the dance of the flames, and I am how the smoke is going up into the heavens of that bonfire, of that ceremonial fire. I am going into the ethers from the birth of the wood and the fire, and I'm going up into the heavens. And so the tears that I shed and the drink that I have with my saliva and how that goes and invigorates the fluid flow in my body, these are the waters, because that's what's pronounced right now is the waters. So you think about water symbols. What am I swimming through? Am I keeping my head above water? Am I able not to drown in my own misery or my own doubt? So that these are things that are right now for the next couple of days. If you'll just look at that showers of blessings, or the bath, where I'm being cleansed and I'm let go. So instead of shedding a skin when you take a shower or your bath, that's another alchemical way that you're letting the old you go down the drain. It's going down the drain. You've showered the day off, you've conditioned your skin, you've shaved this or that, and you've done perhaps some magnesium salts or your favorite body lotion. And like you talked about your grandmother, the smell is a type of a ritualistic thing, that we're not just hurrying through the shower or hurrying through the bath. We're allowing ourselves to feel those embryonic waters of, I'm being birthed anew. When you're doing water, when you're doing showers, you're doing baptism, and you're being birthed. Things are being washed off the physical skin of your body. You're releasing whatever oils and lotions and things that you picked up during the day. The old clothes came off, type of a thing. So it's a type of thing right now where Scorpio's saying, you don't have to get stung. You don't have to have the scorpion sting you. And the other magical symbols and totems of Scorpio, the octopus, Scorpio 8 sign, the 8-legged octopus, I call it the alien of the ocean. I love octopus. And then when you look at spiders, 8-legged spiders, a lot of people get really freaked out about spiders, but the magical part of the spider is the web. You know, it's magical to see a web in the morning with the dew on it when you go outside to do whatever you're doing, to walk to your car or go to work. So, oh, look at that water in that web over there.
Unless you
like
walk
jewelry
through it, then it's frustrating as hell, to be honest with you. That's what happens with me, because I'm an Aries. I just plow through stuff, and I'm like, gosh, damn, you know, like I walk through another spider web. You know, I actually feel bad for the spiders sometimes when I do that. I'm like, man, you got to start over. I'm sorry, you know.
That's so nice. That's such a nice thing for you to do.
But I still get mad.
On. I love that. You know,
you know?
It's funny. I'll do the same because I'm not scared of spiders. I'm the one that always catches them and puts them out in the family. And I'm like, I was changing a light bulb today, and I could feel it in my hair, and I'm like, oh, I'm all in. It was one of those old spider webs, you know, like the spider's not there anymore, and it gets dust and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's not a magical spider web. That's kind of like, and I thought, oh, just what you're going to talk about tonight. The story's over with that spider web, the spider, and I saw it. It was over there, and it had a whole nice new little web, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll clean it up for you, not a problem. Yeah, thank you. Got my attention. So is it a dusty web that's getting your attention, or like Joe says, you know, I plowed through it because I'm on a mission, and I'm, oh, sorry, spider, you got to weave it again. You know,
My
the spider's
bad.
up there like, you know, thanks a lot. No, really, it's like a little tarot card, buddy. You were supposed to feel the web, you know, the webs that we weave kind of a thing. So
I got one that puts it in the damn right by the front door about 3:00 in the morning. So if I get up to go to the bathroom or I have to go outside for any reason, it's right there by the door. I think he's doing it on purpose, you know, because he keeps putting it there.
Insect or bird or nature's totems, they have to do something to actually grab our attention, to look at it more than once. Otherwise, like you said, we just plow through the web and keep going. And so once you kind of take that pause, what's it take us? 10 seconds, 15 seconds when we finally have a moment, we're eating a candy bar or, you know, whatever, collecting our thoughts or smoking your cigarette or whatever, you're vaping or whatever you're doing, and just look at the web and go, you know what, you did get my attention that you're there every night when I come to this door. So obviously we're supposed to meet, and obviously we're supposed to kind of, with your 8 eyes or whatever eyes, you got 6 eyes, and my eyes, we're supposed to kind of connect with each other. So I tell you what, you chose me for a reason. Going to send some light and some love back to you, and we don't have to be at conflict with each other. You know, mahalo, let's do a win-win. But that's, you know, you've had the chicken, you've had the horse, and now you've got the Scorpio spider in the web.
Spiders.
You're weaving.
I live
but
a
it's also
magical
dream
life.
weaving.
I'm not going to lie. I really do, you know. So I should expect it by now, you know. Right? Like, shouldn't we all, if we're living a magical life, we should all expect these kind of things, you know.
We're weaving webs, and Scorpio is the most powerful sign that it's from the underneath. What's wanting to come to the surface? Is it a volcano somewhere? Is it, you know, a high tide? Is it that we know something's been bugging us? We know we've been a little scared, as we say in the South. We've been a little afraid or scared that thing might be going on health-wise. Oh, I hope I don't get an infection. And then you're like, oh, I hope I don't get an infection. Maybe I'll run over to the animal feed store and buy some amoxicillin and take that. You know, there's parts of us that'll just run to the doctor and get a test, and there's other parts of it. It's like, okay, but the reckoning. I think Scorpio's the reckoning when we decide that we can't keep avoiding it. It's getting our attention for the reason, and I think that's a great analogy, Joe. The web and the spider. You know, it's just like the spider's like, I didn't bite your ass. I didn't mean to irritate you. I'm up here in the corner just trying to catch a snack and do my artwork up here, and you walked right through it. So, okay, you know, our paths were supposed to meet. So, you know, like you said, at least just like you did, that's so cute. Apologize to the spider. You know, it's high magic. You recognized the presence of another energy and another creature that's just trying to survive on Mother Earth like we are.
Well, that's the only way it eats, is it traps things, you know?
Yep.
If I keep screwing up its trap, the thing's going to go hungry, you know? But
it's leaving a lot more spiders, a lot more webs than you walk through.
It's still annoying, you know? It's really annoying to have a spot, especially
and here's the other
first
side of
thing in
that.
the morning. Like,
Once you-
golly,
Well, once you've gone through the web a couple times and they're in the same space, they do like doorways. They do like portals because they're doing it here in Tennessee too. It's like you got woods, you got trees, you got branches. Really, I'm opening up the door and you're right there. You're just right there. And I think it's an autumny thing, and part of it is a little bit of the warmth of the lights. You know, if there's any lights close by, that traps the little small bugs and stuff like that. You know, the moth goes to the flame, kind of the light kind of a thing. So I think that's a part of it. You know, and they're up high, and I don't know. Maybe spiders don't have good vision. I haven't really studied it, but they do seem to like those little angle corners of the door kind of close to the proximity of the light bulb. You know, even if it's just a night light, they seem to like that. It's weird. It's just weird.
Mary, I got to tell you, I got a new calling system I want to try out. So during the break, we're going to have to initiate this thing, if that's all right with you.
That's exciting.
We'll see how it works, right? That way, because last time I know we had to do chats and stuff. So, do you got anything else you want to wrap up about?
Yeah, I love the phone.
Before we, because I know you want to come back and do the signs and do calls. So, is there any like big points you want to make before we transition?
Well, it's the season of thanks and giving and thanks. So this is a really, when we shift into Sagittarius, I just think the whole Santa Claus thing, the Kris Kringle Santa Claus thing. He's like adventuring and flying around, and I think where Peter Pan's Gemini, Santa Claus is a Sagittarius. It's getting it all together before the Christmas holiday in Capricorn. So we're coming into Santa time and secret Santas and, uplifting spirits when we're seeing people drive or get stressed out in stores and things like that. It's a high-intensity time. Scorpio is that time, and we start the Sag tomorrow, but there's still Scorpio planets. Scorpio is that time where we say, do you want to do any soul surgery? Is there any emotional dissecting that you want to do? And do you, I'll use your example, do you want to tear down that old web and go ahead and start working on another one? Because either way, you've got the skill sets to do it.
That's very well put. Nice transition there, Mary. I like that. All right. So
thank you, Joe.
When we come back, hopefully I'll get this system to work, and then we'll have a brand new call-in number too. So
Yay.
So, yeah, this one's supposed to work. I'm not going to promise anything great, but it's supposed to be able to let people, while they're holding, still listen to the show and, that kind of stuff.
I love that. That's the way my terrestrial radio was. Yeah, they would be on hold, but they could still hear the show. Love that. Love that.
So you're not going to hear it on the radio station, but you might hear some of my crazy setup on YouTube if you're listening on YouTube. But we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right. Just 1 second. I'm going to send you these numbers, and you're going to have to call it, and it's going to have like a show number. So if you need to write it down, just text it.
I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me?
I can hear the song.
Chinese sister, love is with your brother.
Did you get those numbers I texted you?
Did I get the numbers?
Yeah, did you get the numbers I texted you?
Let me go see. I didn't hear my phone go off. Let me go see.
It's there. I got to set it up. Just if you write it down, just call that number, and then
Oh, you want me to call you on that number?
Yeah, just give me a second. Give me just a few minutes, and then I'll text you ready, and then but write down that show number and pin number.
You must have sent it in Messenger because there it is.
Yeah,
okay.
Write down that there's a show number and a pin number. Okay.
All right.
So don't call it until I text you, but make sure you save it.
Okay, and then okay.
Got it.
But I need the show number and the guest pin number.
That's right. That's right.
I need both of those. So first you dial the number.
That's right.
Then you do the pin number.
It'll ask you for those numbers. That's right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Give me just a second.
All right.
That's why you were mine. I need you now.
The following program is rated X, and parental outrage is expected.
Have you suffered in silence or experienced stress from a paranormal experience? Even if it happened 20 years ago, when thinking or talking about it today still makes you feel sick to your stomach or makes your heart beat faster, or you suddenly can't breathe. Maybe you even feel those old familiar signs of a panic attack trying to reach the surface. You could have unprocessed emotional responses. Those reactions of terror and trauma are no different than living through a horrible assault, childhood abuse, or a terrible car accident. It can be nearly impossible to find help. The very instance of seeing a ghost or encountering a cryptid could be clinically described as seeing or hearing things that aren't there. You could be considered psychotic, or at best, you're just not taken seriously. Out of a group. Okay, Mary, can you hear me? Hold on. Veterans who completed just 6 one-hour EFT sessions no longer tested positive for PTSD. If you've had paranormal trauma, you can contact. Can you hear me now? There we go. We're in. That's 214-995-3754 for a discreet consultation.
Hi, this is Kronox from Belgium, and you're listening to Lighting the Void with Joe Roop.
At Lunamart, we've got everything you need for your next reality jump. Rations, radios, and replacement soles. Open 24 hours a day on most timelines. Lunamart, now serving realities 4 through 6.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
here live on YouTube, on Lighting the Void YouTube, as well as live on Fringe.fm. That's right. And listen, when it comes to Fringe.fm, after Halloween, the station went down. I didn't have time to broadcast and ask you guys for listener support and all that stuff, but we're going to try to keep the station up via listener support and this phone line system up. So we really do need you guys' support. It's not much. I mean, there's radio stations out there asking for thousands of dollars. We don't need that much. So any support helps. You can donate to any of the links in the YouTube description or the YouTube channel, or go to fringe.fm, or just email me at lightingthevoid@gmail.com, and I can tell you how to do that. I got to get it all that set up, but the links are in the YouTube description. So here's the new call-in number when we're ready for you to call in, and that is 940-374-6435. 940-374-6435. We still have the station number 501-777-5631, but that is not a talk show system. But if you'd like to leave a voicemail or call the station, you are more than welcome to. We're here with Mary Decina. It's Cosmic Conditions. It is the new moon of November of 2025, and I hope you guys are picking up what Mary's putting down. I hope you are smelling what she's stepping in. I definitely am, Mary, because it has been quite an intense time. I would say for everybody that I know, honestly, just for everyone that I know. So, yeah. But go ahead with the signs. I don't want to hold you up. I've already held it up long enough. So whenever you're ready.
No. Here's the other piece of it. We're going to have to look at where we need to be disciplined as individuals, is we need to be disciplined about how we're expressing what might be our frustration or our insecurities. What doesn't work with Scorpio, for all signs, what doesn't work with Scorpio season is when we're answering back with a barbed tongue or criticism or name calling, or really letting our own personal frustration and anger within ourselves strike out, the snake bite or the scorpion sting. We have to watch, because of Mercury right now being retrograde, and Mercury also hitting 28 degrees of Scorpio. We could literally be like Medusa's head with the snakes, or we could be speaking with a forked tongue. Not forked tongue so much as lying, but forked tongue in a sense of like, wait a minute, I've known you for 20 years, or I've been in a relationship with you for 5 years. Where is this coming from? Wait, whoa, this is me? This is me. We can help, each other work through something here, or work through a tough time, but don't take it out on me. Yeah, that's not going to bode well. So we got to keep that in mind. Just keep the sarcasm and the little snarky comments, like, well, I'm not going to do that for you anymore. I'm not going to piss on you. No, that, how does that help anything except just already intensify somebody that's going through some type of a tangled web, Joe, so people it doesn't help you, and it doesn't help me if I give some kind of snappy, kind of like, well, that wasn't very uplifting. You don't have to kiss my ass, but you don't need to have to, pull down my pants either unless I want you to, kind of a thing. So if it's Aries, the new moon for Aries, got to remember Mars is hanging out there in the Sagittarius, and it just went through Scorpio. So Mars is your main ruler. Mars, the archetype of the emperor and the warrior and the white knight and the crusader. This new moon is hitting your 8th house. So the Scorpio energy for Aries, because Scorpio is the 8th house and Aries does start the zodiac, Scorpio's lighting up the infinity symbol, your 8th house. So it's really private. It's your secret life, your secret self, your secret desires or habits that you're course correcting. And it's also about shared power, who you want to interact with. And maybe you don't want to tell anybody else about it. Maybe it's just, that's, there might be somebody that's anonymous you're doing some kind of video game with, and you may never meet in person, but there's a different kind of intrigue when you're playing some kind of mind game with them. So there's a deep emotional release that's occurring through honest confrontations, Aries. Uranus is opposite all this Scorpio stuff in Taurus, and it challenges your material stability. So it's really good for joint finances. It's really good for rebranding yourself, rebalancing, relationship dynamics that are ones you've never even encountered that type of personality before, or maybe that person's limitation before. There's some new stuff coming with that. And that Mercury retrograde till we get to like the 29th, 30th of November is also letting you really finally see that the wound is gone, the past wound is gone. So Jupiter and Saturn, Aries, is providing the healing tools, the healing allies, and your ability to be okay with yourself when you have to set some stronger boundaries. But I absolutely would say for you, Aries, that this cycle of transfiguration, resurrection, and transformation is restoring your own emotional sovereignty. There's mind sovereignty, physical sovereignty, soul sovereignty. This is about emotional healing for Aries. You know, Joe's term about, you know, sometimes an Aries can just plow through the web. I'm on a mission. So this is about some subtleties that are actually very favorable medicine in your healing medicine bag. So there's a lot of energy in the 8th house. And so it has to do with, if the first house is the Aries I am, and across from Aries is the Libra we can or we are, Scorpio then comes up right after Libra and says, now here's the depths of it. Here's the cause of that anger. Here's why that sadness comes back up again. And it's not, I'm telling you, it doesn't have to haunt you forever. Scorpio really is what can haunt us, what can teach us, and what can tease us, you know. So it's like, which way are we going to be able to move, go past, it's time to go past go. You got to start the journey. And that's what Aries is doing right now. If you're Taurus, this is all about the relationship dynamic, the he and she, the what we do together. So it's a 7th house type of thing for you, Taurus. And the breakthrough is to find, instead of provoking rebellion against anything that's suffocating you as a dynamic of energy, this Mercury retrograde is bringing new relationships, new neighbors, new friendships, new gatherings. But it's also an echo because of Mercury being in the mix of all this and Lilith being in Scorpio. This Mercury retrograde kind of rings the bell, little wind chime, little echoes of the old lover or the partner, and it could not be that there was anything that was discordant that happened between you. It served its purpose. They passed away. It was, you know, it's just like you moved away. There's different things, but there's a resonating type of, there's some kind of sweet spot. There's some kind of memory. There's some kind of an enhancement, energy enhancement that's coming from them, about them for you, that I think is really good medicine. Jupiter and Saturn in Pisces Taurus is reinforcing a clarity, and the commitments that you want to go to the next level with are the ones that you want to keep them right where they are. I keep that person right in that category, right at that distance. We do real well when it's up in here that way rather than moving it too far back or too far forward. And Neptune in Pisces is blessing compassion, the people that are compassionate in your life. And you, Taurus, being able to bear witness to a compassionate action of feeding the starving dog, giving the cat, you know, something. So expect powerful truth coming out in dialogue, Taurus. Freedom's coming through honest connection, not isolation. It's not an isolation cycle for Taurus, but Taurus does need time to process things like Cancer the crab. Taurus and Cancer have to take their time to look at the different layers and levels of things. If you're a Gemini, it's 6th house. This is about what needs to be purified, what needs to be clarified, what, if anything, in your mental or physical expression of your selfhood might be under some kind of tension, need to have some kind of holistic treatment, have, you know, physical therapy, an expert's opinion. There's something about your work habits and your health routines and the dynamics around how you doing, the way Italians will say, how you doing, really know how you doing. No, don't tell me you're doing fine, how you doing. So Gemini, it's time for you to look at the disturbance in the force. I was just talking to a female Gemini the other day, and she was saying, everything's okay in my life, but there's just something off. I'm a little edgy, I'm a little snappy, and to people that I know are good in my life, it's like, and the moment I do it, I say, why did I just do that? We're Geminis, ruled by Mercury. Mercury's retrograde right now. I know that's not an excuse. I'm glad you're looking at it, Gemini, but there's something about a hidden stress or something that needs to be put to rest, that you need to stop worrying about, like the actual panic that it could be, or the worry that this is what it could be, is actually driving you crazier than what the test might bring back. So you're too much in your head, Gemini, about, oh no, what if the worst thing that happens, that could happen, happens? What if I get the worst news? Geminis are like kind of haunting themselves. So I would say the reward comes from you getting a little more disciplined with your healing efforts. And please declutter mentally. You need to simplify it, and you need to bring some balance and a little bit of a renewed vitality to the purpose of who matters in your life. So, check yourself. If you're Cancer moon child, it is a new moon. All moon phases affect the fourth sign of the zodiac, Cancer, the crab, the ocean crab, the child of the moon child. So this is pleasure. This is creative. This is a pleasure rebirth through really nice emotional revelations and truths at your fifth house. It fuses creativity, art with the catharsis of your being, the you that you're becoming, the you that you're allowing, the you that's sitting on that beach under the moon with your feet in the water going, this is a sweet spot. I don't have to think too hard. I don't have to do anything right now. I just want to sit my ass on the sand and feel Mother Ocean come up over my legs. I just want to stare at the stars or watch the sunset. That is high water element medicine. When you're at that waterfall, but to me, when I actually sit down and feel that coarse sand, and I just I don't care if it's my clothes or what, just let that water come up over me, it really feels like a baptism and a release of the old. It's just like you really can come into the moment at the beach under the moon. For me, you can really come into the moment. I mean, those are real Cancerian things. The ocean and the moon phase is very, very high medicine, even in art, for people that have strong Cancer water sign in their chart. So Uranus right now backing up into the 11th house will test friendships, and it'll show you more about the depth of belonging, the collective belonging. Stay loyal to your joy. Write that down. If you're a Cancer rising, or your moon, stay loyal to your joy. And that bubbles up from within you, water signs. Mercury retrograde is reviving the skill sets of your passion and your creative ideas. And Jupiter is happy in your sign in Cancer, even though retrograde, and Saturn giving it a trine and Neptune toasting it is bringing love and art and play in the easier ways rather than pain or loss or stress. These water signs are compatible to you, Cancer, and they're bringing you a way that it is the sweet tides of the ocean. It's not a hurricane. It's not a tsunami. It's just like, let us bathe you. Let us restore you. Let us emerge born again from the waters of Mother Earth. It's nice. And Sagittarius isn't going to be bad either, Cancer. It's just as we go into Sagittarius tomorrow, you're going to bounce into your sixth house of work and responsibility. So that's a good place to pay attention to. If you're a Leo, this new moon for the next 2 weeks is igniting your fourth house. It's home. It's relatives. How appropriate for Thanksgiving to be in Sagittarius. It's family dynamics. There's a renewal that wants to happen. It's exposing hidden emotions that are tied to ancestry or family security or protocols. Uranus in the 10th, for you, Leo, is triggering a sudden housing shift, or it could be an eruption or a blow up, or those lovely reasons why people are glad that Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, and Christmas gatherings can only happen once a year. Sometimes they get you at Easter too. So this is about reopening some domestic conversations that might have gotten shut down about 6-7 years ago. So I would suggest, Leo, that you listen before deciding. Listen before you're trying to almost like protect or prepare yourself. So Jupiter and Saturn, Leo, are giving you some compassionate arrows, so you're able to kind of have a perspective. It's not all about you. You're kind of like, wow, that person, I understand why that person might feel that way. They really got their ass kicked in life with that one. They really went through a lot. And there's a difference when we see somebody that's not using their tragedies as an excuse to be the professional victim and to suck energy out of people. I really admire people that have gone through like really incredible hard conflicts in their life, and they keep rewilding themselves, so they keep rising above it instead of just sinking into the poor, pitiful me kind of a thing, or the other side of that of everybody else owes me now because my ass got kicked and ripped off, so I'm going to take it.
Or I do this for
Leo's
everybody.
going through an adjustment.
Nobody does
with that one. But I will say, Leo, that prioritizing your inner stability, the way you hug yourself, the soft moments, the comfort foods you give yourself is really going to be your greatest achievement. There's nothing you need to get out there and prove or get approved for, Leo. Just do you. Take care of you. Virgo, it's third house. It's a mental, wording, communication, emotional purge, which is going to clear confusion. I'm going to go quick with you. It's an easier new moon for you. Uranus favors you in earthy Taurus, and Mercury retrograde, even though it affects Virgo, it cautions just against too many sharp words or contracts. Don't blow through the contracts. Buy for some time. Tell them you'll give them your final decision after the 29th of November if you want to, and don't ignore the contract or don't ignore the agreement. You need to look at it, and you need to follow through if you've got that Virgo in you, and be good to yourself. It's an easier new moon for you, Virgo, so you can also be supportive to yourself. I think healing dialogues fortify and strengthen your faith, and I believe there's some spiritual and mystical and maybe singing or dancing or humming or something being said to you in a dream. There's something about the word, the lyrics, the song that's medicine for you, Virgo. If you're Libra, this is the second house. Scorpio is your second house, Libra, so it's what you value, what you prioritize. How are the resources going? How's your money? And are you spending too much energy on the monetary concerns? Or, could you invest more in your creativity, and could you not let the stress of worrying about money become the debit to your health and wellness? So there's some old value systems that are coming up. It might not be trying to find a new way to do it, but go back to something that worked for you before, Libra. And so, retrogrades are always about taking the pause. You're going to hear me say that word a lot tonight before you make a large decision or a big purchase. So I would say sleep on it overnight, like they say, before you get the car or before you sign the contract, because there could be even better coming in once you get past the 29th of November, and Sagittarius favors you, for a whole month, Libra. So Scorpio, it's your November birthday cycle time. It is a personal birth. It is an embryonic thrust. You're coming out of another vehicle that helped you grow some new things with yourself. But at the same time, when we're an infant coming out of the mother's body, we're also going into a new wild world that we don't even know how to speak the language. So there's electrified surprises. There's a lot of truth-telling. There can be some separations that briefly occur that reset the strength of the friendship or the relationship, because you both get to reset needed boundaries. It will merge past and future self with you. With Mercury being retrograde, you're refining your voice rather than forcing control. You say that to you one more time, Scorpio, because it's your birthday cycle. You are refining your voice rather than forcing control. So you're shedding the mask and you're realigning your purpose with your authentic desire. So it's an energy to where you give permission for you not to be so hard on yourself and so withdrawn from other people. Sagittarius, these are hidden matters for you. This is embryonic for you. This is the labor before the birth. It's your 12th house. So the Scorpio new moon, even though the sun goes into Sagittarius tomorrow, this is still the new moon. Like we'll have one, next. It's late in the energy of your sign as we're getting ready to go into Capricorn. So there's some old secrets or some unfinished emotional business that's wanting just to get clarification, just to get a new look on it. You'll emerge even more blessed because of giving it a second look or letting it go another time, a final time. So I would lean into your spiritual practices that work for you, your dream work disciplines, your, what must end in order for there to be renewal. Sagittarius, you need to rest up, let the reset happen. This is not your time to have the spotlight or center stage, and there's nobody that you have to keep entertaining all the time. Just do you, but this is your time to rest before the big cycle starts to happen to you in mid-December. If you're Capricorn, it's an easy one for you too. It's 11th house. It's conversations and group dynamics. What do you want to reform? What do you love absolutely the way it is? I mean, I can hear a lot of Capricorns right now saying, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Let it go. The wheel's turning. It's working. So this is reconnecting you with some former collaborators. It could be that you're detaching from you're not interested in any kind of willpower or ego games or power games. You're more leaning into teamwork, collaboration, because you can see where collaboration, teamwork will succeed when the authenticity is taking the lead. If you're Aquarius, anytime anything Uranus is doing retrograde, going back into a sign, affects you. So this whole career rebirth, this whole Scorpio baptism, resurrection, ascension is lighting the top of your chart, your public commitments, your public reputation, your long-term goals, there's shakeups that are going on. There's the stability of Uranus and Taurus challenging stability at home. There's things turning and twisting. It's just not those years where everything's staying the same. There's some old professional stories and skills that are resurfacing with the Mercury retrograde. So you're rewriting your script a little bit. You're adding a couple of paragraphs and you're kicking out the other two, saying, yeah, I'm not that committed to the ride anymore. So lead with your emotional intelligence and don't let other people think they can get away with controlling you. Just say to them, yeah, there's no need for that. I think these top three things here are a priority. Let's go over these, and what say you about this? Like, you invite them into it, but there's not a list of 10 things. There's like 2 or 3. And finally, Pisces, a lot of revelations for you. It's in the 9th house. It is spiritual intelligence. It is the voice of your angelic guides. It is the almighty I am. It is your ability to be the intuitive antenna, to download the ability to alchemize yourself and to move past healing crises or trouble. That old commercial with that dog that was worried about its bone and the insurance company. I think it had a red umbrella or something. It kept dreaming about the bone, and it would get the traveler's insurance, and it would hide the bone, and it was just like troubled. And so the dog couldn't even dream because he still had to go get the bone and bury it again because he just couldn't have it away from him. So Pisces can tend to get into these loops of, did I learn everything? That hurt really bad in my life. I didn't like that illness. I'm still dealing with that crisis. It's real hard for them to let go of the anxiety factor of that sucker punch that happened in their life. So it's kind of look at it from some intellectual ways, Pisces, rather than just the anxiety or the emotional kick in the ass that you got. Uranus can give you some type of disruption, but you'll adapt quickly. So whatever was a long-standing problem, Pisces can have a really rapid-fire resolution. So that's the thing to lean into. Trust your insight from dreams, because it's going to be that message, that truth that liberates you when you speak to it softly, and more importantly, when you listen deeper. Scorpio is about the depth of learning and listening. So this is a time of intensity. You're not making it up, that everything feels more intense, more tense, more emotional, more like, oh my God, this feels so black and white. Yeah, it is. It is. It's, and it'll get easier tomorrow as we start getting into the fire sign of Sagittarius, and Mars is there, and Mercury will turn direct and all that. But we're supposed to, this is like looking back at the final part of autumn and Halloween, in a sense, that leaves their changed. They're blowing off. The rain's coming. The cooler temperatures are coming, and the trees are saying, I'm waving bye to you with the brilliance and the flames and the transformations of autumn, because we're getting ready to go into the hibernation at Yuletide. But there's some things to get prepared for and to put in place, and to also kiss autumn right now, because you're at the midway. It's the autumn signs are Scorpio, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. So we're midway with Scorpio. Sagittarius finishes off autumn. It's the last sign of the autumn in the northern hemisphere. So it's the play side of the leaves and raking and blowing leaves, and there's not so many bugs like there were in summer. So it's time for us in Sagittarius to look to the nicer things of the season of autumn, because spring and autumn usually aren't as intense as the heat of summer or the frost and cold of winter can be. So this is kind of like the best of both when we get to spring and autumn. So don't miss it. Don't miss this point right here in the year of 2025 of looking back and saying, after all, it is my harvest time, and I am harvesting some new opportunities, and I am taking my skill sets forward with me into my new autumn projects. So this is a cleansing, a healing, a purging, and setting us up for the intensity leading to opportunity. That's probably the best way to say that. Yeah. If there's opportunities, they're just coming in, we're taking the costumes off. They're, what showed up in the costumes that we would choose for Halloween, the costumes are now getting taken off and washed and hung up until next year. And now it's like, okay, that was fun, and I allowed myself to think about the past and the dead and my beloveds in spirit and the animals I've lost. And now it's like reset. What do I want to take forward with me? And the Capricorn, when Capricorn comes along, we settle in for the work. We settle in to pay it off. We settle in to do the time clock. We settle in to climb up the mountain again. So Sagittarius is the play sign of autumn, and that's greeting us tomorrow.
All right. Very good, very good. And so if you want to call in to the new system, who's going to be the first one to call into the new system? It's 940-374-6435. There we go. We already got one. Let's see. Make sure this thing works. Hit that button. Looks like 828 area code. You're on the air. Who are we speaking with?
This is Miss Lisa.
Hi, Miss Lisa.
How are y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Hi, 828.
Good.
Well, she's got an easy voice tonight. You got your Libra voice tonight.
Well, I am a Libra.
Yeah. Well, it's that I did know. I'm not acting like I'm the psychic that sees all and knows all. I know this 828 gal. I know who she is.
Oh, okay.
And because of that, I can hear her Libra softness coming out more than how things could be intense. So there's a sweet spot that I'm hearing psychically in the resonation of your voice. No matter how many things are spinning around you, I feel like there's both a little bit of a melancholy about maybe someone's presence, a memory, or a part of when you come into this time of the year of like, boy, all those times I had at that house with that person and watching that person cook, and like you've got a different kind of appreciation of like, man, when my granny or my aunt or my mom did that, I had no idea. I was little. I had no idea the amount of money they spent and the work they did, and and now I find I carry on some of those traditions myself, and that's like honoring our ancestors in a way too. So I feel like it's almost like I feel like you're taking on with choice, with joy, that you're wanting to take on and then some, doing that maybe for your kids or someone younger than your kids. It feels to me like you're in a shining star moment, not about being a crone or older or an elder, but just like that you're in a power position right now because of the people that haven't had their footprints, bare feet on the ground for as many life passages as you have, that you can actually be a bright spot for them when they're going through some of the little storms or concerns, or they're basically happy, but they're still struggling with learning, how to walk, how to talk, how to go to school for the first time. So I feel like the Spirit's putting you in a position to now be that incredible honor of the person that will really set down the tone of what memories people choose to take forward with them. That's the good shit, man. Like I want to be like that with my aunt, or I remember that was really good about my granny, and I like that best about my dad, and I want that to shine through me. That's another part of it's the opposite of the Scorpio haunting or taunting or vampirical. It has to do with, and now I will be alchemized in my spirit spotlight. I want to impart that, and I want to let someone bear witness to the fact that I honor my ancestor this way, and I liked that habit they did, how they did it that way, and that particular type of food, and how they cooked it, and I want you to bask in that delight and then some. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is
got an aunt
the card that
actually was...
Is this the same Lisa that I know too? Is this like...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool. I haven't heard your voice in a long time.
She likes to call regularly. Yeah. She likes to call us.
Did you pull a card for her?
I've been working and going in at the crack of dawn, so I have missed several shows, I'm sure.
Gotcha.
Well,
okay.
a lot of us had to take some side journeys. We're kind of like working things out. We're moving parts, and the puzzle's coming together, but there's a lot of moving parts. Your card, Lisa, your card is the Hermit. I love this card. I just love this card. It's very Virgoian in a sense that it's a guide, it's a teacher, often nature, because he's out in nature and he's got his walking stick and he goes to the top part of the mountain knowing all well, similar to what I was saying, that he started the mountain when he was younger and he's climbing up to find the meaning of life on the mountain. And when he gets there, the simple part of the card is, in the ninth card, is for him to have a star, an 8-pointed star in the lantern saying, I'd like to be the one to light the way for you now. So you're teaching, you're guiding, you're allowing, and you're also wise enough to see that someone could be older than you or very much younger than you, but you're still recognizing that Spirit is gifting you and giving you messages through older and younger and all kinds of different types of maybe cultures or mindsets or backgrounds of people, that there's really a lot of uniqueness that's around you that's coming out with where you find your most comfortable, familiar aspects of your personality and what you want others to see you, remember you as, enjoy about you. It's like that you're looking at the energy dynamics of you and people that matter to you and have mattered to you.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Lisa. It was cool of you to call in. Thank you. You're the first one on the new phone system.
I'm able to stay up.
Yeah.
You guys.
Make sure she heard that.
Yeah. You heard that, right? You're the first one to call in on the new phone system, right? You know that?
Oh, well,
everybody sounds so tired, man. I'm telling you, it's the time change.
48 hours.
Yeah.
Like insane.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, cool.
I hear you. Well, thanks for calling in. All right.
Yeah,
thanks for being a regular,
Thank
Lisa.
You.
Thank you
Yes,
for being a
ma'am.
regular.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Everybody sounds a little tired. Do you think it's the time change? I think it is. I can't stand it. I wish they would quit doing it.
Absolutely a part of it. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely a part of it. There's a real 3D logical part of it. And I think that in our soul, those of us that are living in the northern hemisphere, I think that we're tired of all the blah, 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 the divisiveness. And I also feel like that whatever's going on in the heavens, you've heard me talk about all your Comet Swan and Lemon and meteor showers. There's another one coming up, I think, on the, I don't know, there's like the Taurids and there was the Leonids, and then there's another one coming up, I think, by the 27th of November. There's been so much activity besides Starlink and, drones and rockets all going up there. They're all doing something in space junk and all of it. It's like the little bit that we do know that we watch take off that doesn't fall back to Earth. I mean, again, people are very divided on whether we ever actually went to the moon or NASA did that as a whole stage thing so that they could really do the secret space program that I know that they did do, but they wanted to let us fall with, oh yeah, we faked that because look over here and don't look over there. I mean, I absolutely would not be surprised, Joe, if we'd already colonized Mars, and I absolutely would not be surprised if we're hybridized creations from the get-go, and that, when people talk about how radiation affects humans in space and all of that, you know what? If you're able to portal jump, and if you're able to time jump, and if you're able to black hole it, and you're able to do an interdimensional thing, it doesn't have anything to do with traditional human bodies and the effects of radiation or the magnetic belt and all of that stuff. It doesn't. Yes, those things happen to a human body, but if there's higher technology, certainly in my life, there's been advanced technology that I didn't have when I was 7 years old. I mean, I've watched a lot of pretty wild things come into being, like those of us that remember before cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
I know that there's new things, and they're saying that in 1992, 1993, when we came out with the Internet, and the next big thing was the cell phones instead of surfing the World Wide Web, they're saying that the whole AI robotic thing is going to be the 1993 type of thing, but it's the big thing. And everybody's going to want to have, an AI robot, and that's going to be the big toy that everybody wants, and watch what it does and just sit there fascinated by all of it. My concern as a mystic, not against those things, but my concern as a mystic is let's not dilute the majesty of the creature that we are, the face-to-face conversations that we can have, the physical touch, the sound of our voice, the comforts emotionally that, an AI can tell you what you want to hear. An AI can turn you on or stimulate you or argue with you if that's what you're into.
It'll never be. I don't care what people say. It'll never be or feel anything like human beings do. No, never. So.
And I'm glad I know that. I'm glad I know that. If that makes me less advanced or more advanced, I don't care. It feels right to pay attention to that. It feels right not to kick that in the ass and see that as old-fashioned or not viable anymore. I am created in the image and likeness by the Creator, by the great I Am. And so I know that there's a reason that a lot of these demons and things chase after us is because we are so multifaceted and we are such incredible soul-based computers, dynamic light beings that, there's nothing that I expect on earth to match what I know that I've got from the heavenlies.
912 area code. Thank you for your patience from Georgia. I always want to say that. 912 Georgia. You're on the air.
Well, my number's from Georgia, but I'm in Florida now.
Who are we speaking with?
Corey.
Corey. What's up, Corey?
Hey.
How
are you guys?
Good. Would you like Mary to pull a card for you?
Yes, please. Please.
All right.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you. And congratulations on your move to Florida. Something feels, I want to say something feels invigorating, but it's got a familiarity to it that where you were maybe in between decisions or you said, well, I'm just going to try something. I'm going to get this process going like maybe 4 to 5 months ago. I feel like there was a different kind of stagnation, like you weren't stuck. You were busy, but it didn't feel like to you that it was like the right kind of progression. And then I feel like either someone you knew or someplace you went or some connection that was around someone that you knew that was valuable to you reignited. And I feel like you're doing something completely different, but there's something familiar about it as well. And you got the 4 of Cups. There's water. And the 4 of Cups ties into the Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. We've got that dynamic of all 3 of those signs right now. And in the 4 of Cups, there's the person that's contemplating the 3 golden chalices in front of them, and they're looking at all 4 corners. They're not just looking at the front door and the back door, how to go in or out. They're looking at all 4 corners of the room. And I see that spirit, the divine, the goddess, nature, there's a lot of ways that you're going to realize that you're being given insight, that you're being given tools and assistance not to take it as personal or not to be, getting the same type of behaviors that have kind of followed you along over the last maybe 15 years, or 15 to 19 years. I feel like that you're like the mermaid that got to go to a different part of the sea. You got to go sit on a different rock, like you got to go into a whole new ocean type of area that it's your destination and you're guarding it and you're guarded there and you're protected there. And I just feel like you're in a space right now that you're okay with you expressing and feeling your emotions the way you want to. Like you're not putting expectations on yourself. You're not pushing yourself. You're not trying to pull games out of other people or run game or anything like that. It's just about, I need to be good with me and see who Spirit sends me as my running buddies or the lover or whatever it's going to be. I don't want to hurry up anything, and I don't want to get my head all whacked out once I get into it. I think there's been a tendency in the past where a little bit of your vulnerability, this is what I'm getting psychically, that a little bit of your vulnerability would like let's just say you got into a hot attraction that you'd want to really hit it hard, fast, and furious because, if you're going to leave me and I'm going to burn it out in the beginning then before I get hurt. That makes sense?
Heck yeah. Yep. All of that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know who, I know when, and you're spot on.
I think that's happened to a lot of us, actually. Yeah, but that's it. That is a pretty specific situation. Those hurt too. I mean, you'll get over them, but they hurt hard and fast too. You know what I mean? It's like, damn.
Oh yeah, and I'm okay with that.
Good lesson learned.
I'm pretty resilient.
You have a real, you don't have an arrogance or a bitterness in your voice. I feel that you have an acceptance, and that comes across as like, I'm better with me, I'm good with me. And then you got the 10 of Pentacles fell out as I was putting the cards back together. So because of your reliance and your acceptance, not just like, no, I'm only going to be able to rely on myself, because of you accepting, letting more of the magic out of you, you're going to level up in the type of quality of friendships or partnerships or lover that you attract now, because you got rid of, you finally closed a chapter on some part of you that had to do with an old wound with somebody else in your family line. It really wasn't your issue, but you kind of took it on and you finally got to break away from it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Good work. You've been doing some kick-ass work. I mean, you went right into the fire. You just went right into it, going, you know what?
I did.
I'll learn
That's the only way to go.
That's the way I look at it too. If anything's going to happen, it's going to happen in the fire. You know, right? Like, might as well.
It blew up, but that's okay. I walked out.
Well, a lot of people just can look good, talk good, put on a good game, make you think they got it all together, make you think they're all about you. And
oh, I died inside, but I'm okay now.
You get older and you're like, I got to watch this bitch a little bit.
That.
See what
I
they're
died
doing,
inside.
You know?
Wow. But I'm okay now.
I did. And I'm a new person now. And I like this one better than the last one, so I'm pretty good with this.
Dying inside is the Scorpio thing too, man. That's the transition, you know. That's not always a bad thing.
It is, Joe.
It's a really good thing.
It's
even
crazy
though it hurts.
how all this is falling into place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like with where the planets are and how everything is right now, like it's like coinciding with what I'm living through right now.
See, I think that's where astrology's fun. You know, like I like looking back on a year when there's been a bunch of planetary changes, and just a real quick recipe I can give people. Like, I remember, Joe, we talked about, I said, the M&M months. March and May of 2025 was when we had that first shift. And as far as Neptune was concerned, it hadn't been in Aries for 165 years. So Saturn hadn't been there for 29 and a half years. So Saturn went into Aries, Neptune went into Aries between March and May. And so we, all of us, got the first.
That's when all my crazy stuff happened.
Yep. And so the Pisces is the healer coming back around us going, we're retrograde, but it's Pisces.
Yeah, I'm Pisces.
And the Pisces is coming back in saying, you didn't drown. You died inside, but that part of you had to be let go of anyway. Now look at this. Here's the resurrection. And your own words. I like this. I like this me better now.
Oh, yeah. I never think I could love me anymore because I've learned to love myself. And I never could think that I love myself more, but everything I keep overcoming, and I tell you, it's coming in droves. I just keep stepping over them all and getting past it. But I'm amazed at how much more I can love myself. It's crazy. And I'm so proud of me.
It's a good crazy. I'm glad to hear you say that. And more of us need to say that. You know, that was a kick in the ass, but you know what? I got through it. And I think when we get through something heavy too, Corey, we don't give enough of that really intuitive pause to go, whoa, that was hard. That was big. Felt that one. And I can look, I'm on the other side of that water wall now. I came out of the fire. I came out of the tornado didn't kill me. It took things.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a Pisces.
I
dissect all of it. And I feel all of it. And I need to. Otherwise, then I can't move past it.
Mm. She's a healer.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I understand that. Well, thank you for calling in, Corey. Corey from Florida.
Thank you so much. And
congratulations. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Good night, you guys.
You have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.
Yeah, feeling it's always a good thing. Yeah. We might have time for one more call, but yeah, the only thing is the hardest part about going through that stuff, I think, is when you make a transition, you learn to love yourself more, respect yourself more, and you learn to protect yourself more. But you know what the thing is when you get older, what happens to some people as they get older, their young heart dies, and where the real transition happens is when you go through that fire, and not only does your heart not die, but it just becomes better at loving yourself and better at loving others, because you start to realize, man, when I'm empowered, I can love others even more, right? Instead of that hurt, I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to protect and then your heart's not doing anything but just loving you, and it gets each lesson. It seems like, Mary, that each lesson is a little bit harder and a little bit deeper, but the rewards are, geez, man.
Yes.
They're so much better.
There you go. The rewards are, the liberation is like, it's like you unlock a decade, you unlock a lifetime, you unlock, wow, I actually don't have to be that Mary or that Joe anymore. I can feel it. I don't have that primary lesson anymore. I did it. I'm sure I was the plus and the minus back and forth a lot of times. I did the chaos. It was a crisis, of sometimes quietly within ourselves, sometimes externally with another scenario or person. And it's like, wow, yeah, that was one of the big hallmarks of my life, and I'm on the other side of that. I'll always learn from it. I like that part of it too, Joe. It's that no matter who it was, how it was, what we lost, what we gained, we're always going to be able to have that as a reference point. And often, everything we thought we had figured out all about it when it happened then, there's a lot of rich rewards, as you go forward. It's like when we release stuff through emotional tapping, when we release stuff through affirmations and prayers and witnessing and testimony, like really big things. Like earlier this year, Joe, I'll tell you this real quick, there was a guy that was on Easter, and he was a motorcycle preacher, and he was on his way to go preach, and this woman saw him and pulled out in front of him, and it's like, it broke his back and threw him into a coma and everything, and I've been tracking it and following it, and by happen chance, around my birthday, there was a guy that was in town, ended up being, there's no accidents, ended up, I didn't know if he'd come out of the coma or not, because there were people praying, wake up, Travis, wake up. And he said, oh, by the way, he said, I'm a recovery minister. And I said, yeah, I've been trying to follow, it's a small town here, what happened to Travis? And he goes, oh, he's my best friend. He woke up. He said He had 3 parts of his back broken. He was unconscious in a coma. We kept the prayer chain. Yeah, he woke up, and I said, can you write down your name and number, because I'm going to go sit in the back row, even if he likes to preach outside. I'm going to go sit. I want to hear that story of that person that actually got hit because of somebody. They're in jail. They hit him. It was so bad. The person's in jail. And he said, I said, I want to hear that story. That's a live movie. I want to hear. I'm going to sit my ass right in the back row. Don't need the attention, the applause. I know that man has a huge message, and I know that I want to be in the audience and hear that.
That's perfect.
Like he went into a coma and broke legs and back and everything. Just like our military people go through those kind of things and come back forever changed. And I'm like, I got to hear that. That's happened locally. I got to hear that story. I don't have any expectations. I just want to go hear that, because to me, Joe, that's going to be
powerful.
Speaking.
Yeah, it's going to be powerful for sure. Last one of the night, in the late night, 801 area code, looks like Utah. Who are you speaking with?
Hi.
Hello.
This is Utah. How are you?
Good. And who are we speaking with?
What?
This is Jordan. How are you?
Good.
Blessed and happy to be blessed and recognizing I'm blessed. You got some really nice voice energies coming in tonight, Joe. That's why I like phone calls. They get to hear our voice and feel it, and we get to hear their voice and feel it. So would you like a call, my dear? Would you like a card or
I would. I also have a question. You and I had the great opportunity to speak a couple days ago. This afternoon, myself and my daughters came together and were able to do inventory on my mother's jewelry. The 2 wedding sets my dad gave my mom, and we spoke about diamonds, remember?
I do remember. You had a card with a diamond on. I do know. Wow.
The 2 wedding sets Dad gave Mom, we can't find it. They're not here where they should be, because she was meticulous. She had 2 jewelry chests that were both about 3 feet tall, and they're not here. And it was agreed we would do this together because there was a list, and they're not there. What do you think? Do you think we'll find them?
Yeah. What I heard was yet. They're not there yet. So those kind of things carry big energy. The baby, the details of the baby book, the diamond rings, when people pass on and stuff, the wedding sets or certain papers. I mean, that carries big energy. And I feel like that it got everybody's attention, but you and your daughters came together like it's generational
My
type of
daughters
thing. I
don't
believe that,
remember them.
right, but what I'm saying
Just
to you is,
my brother and I.
okay, but what I'm saying is there's a generational thing involved in this, doing inventory. And like it's you and your brother, like, thinking about the inventory, why isn't it here? Mom was meticulous and all that. But what I feel is that this is the way the divine is going to work with how the discovery comes about, even though the logic is like, oh, Mom was always meticulous. She always put everything where it was supposed to be. That was her whole persona, her whole life. Now Spirit's saying, we're getting your attention, like Joe talking about walking through the web. We're getting your attention with these 2 wedding sets that your dad gave your mom, and they're not where they would meticulously normally be. They're not there. And so what you do is you say to Spirit, this is how you do the alchemy, especially in Scorpio, thank you for grabbing my attention about this. I get it. You want my attention on this. So I'm simply going to say, without going into anxiety with any of my family members or my brother, I'm going to go to and say to you, thank you for the discovery of these. I know the day will be perfect. I know that it will come about. Thank you for us being in this cycle of inventory and gathering and remembering and discovering. Thank you for the rediscovery of these wedding sets. I feel like they're just somewhere else. Like it was something that wasn't her character, but they got put quickly somewhere they're safe, and I don't feel like they're stolen. I feel like they're safe, and there'll be that call back.
There's no doubt. There is no doubt. Anyone in my family. I mean, the people involved in this, and she lived for the last 17 years in Massachusetts. And I know everything like that came home with her. I have no doubt, no worries. Family there, and those of us here, there is no way in heck that anyone is worried about that. Isn't that the beauty of it, though?
Yeah. It's nice that you have that. That's a gift. It's nice because in a lot of families that is the problem. That's nice that you have that conviction. It's not just an affirmation you're saying. You say, I have no doubts. I have no doubts.
No
so
doubt.
Now, you
they're
simply
not stolen.
Right. You simply turn to Spirit and say, thank you that I have no doubts, and thank you for the fun discovery that's coming of where they ended up being placed. Thank you for the fun treasure hunt.
I never had a caller call in about family jewelry before. That's pretty interesting.
I'm so grateful about there's no conflict, and there was no pointing fingers, and well, you here or you were here. There was none of that today, and that right there is, yes, it was, wow, that was such a gift to this family, me, but not only me and them, but them. And with that, I'm going to say I appreciate you so much, Joe, and the call, the clearness of the voices. Oh, man, it's great.
You like the new system better?
Take care, Mary. I do.
Good.
Me too.
It's great.
All right. Well, thank you
so
for calling.
much again, Mary.
Thank you.
So appreciate you. And now I'm going to dive back into a lot of the things that we talked about because I can't wait to keep discovering.
Well, and call us back about the diamonds. Yeah, call us about the discovery of the diamonds because you get to go on the treasure
Okay, I will because, oh my goodness.
Joe and I love that.
Will. I know I had to. I knew that I promise where and when we find them, I'm going to update you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Blessings. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks and giving and thanks.
Yeah, and Mary, before we roll out tonight, do you want to give a final message?
I feel that it's important that we pause and acknowledge with gratitude within ourselves all the times that we dodged the bullet, all the times that we got on the other side of the fire. As Corey had said, that I died inside, but I like the new me. I feel like that this Scorpio season of 2025 is to pat ourselves on the back, to acknowledge the blood, sweat, and tears, if you will, and to realize that we have alchemized. We are always in a cycle of the dance of chance and change. But I feel like the alchemy right now, the oddness out there, the the fast and furious choices and opinions that are flying around. I believe that the Scorpio aspect of take ye apart a while and rest, to thine own self be true. I feel like I keep hearing that really big with the Scorpio stuff. And although I think it's a comment and a messenger, the way the ancient magi would see, I believe that this swan and comet lemon and Atlas 3i, I call it Atlas Third Eye, has a lot to do with the Greek, the myths about Atlas and the Titans and carrying the weight of the world. Atlas is often carrying the weight of the world. That's what it's seen as. So I feel like that a part of this is we don't have to keep carrying the weight as much anymore psychologically or spiritually, and even judging ourselves. I feel like Scorpio is saying, first and foremost, give yourself a blank canvas, become the artist, let the masterpiece happen. And it all starts with, if you'll just think of 3 things for which you're grateful, and then just summon up all the wonder and muster and joy that you can to say, whatever's in front of me, I'm going to make the decision about how I'm going to direct my energy, and I'm going to have fun playing with that. I'm going to be a little bit of a magician, and I'm going to play with that. But acknowledge, Scorpio is about acknowledge all the times that we had to give it up, let it go, it died, it lied, it cheated, it stealed, it was a vampire. It for all of us just to say, wow, I was a firewalker. I walked the coals of the fire, and I did not get burned, because I'm right here saying I learned from it all. Like that.
Perfect. And you guys, make sure you go get, if you haven't got one, or if you need to freshen up, get a reading at maryducina.com. We've we are still updating the website, so you get a little bit easier transition to get a reading. I can tell I'm tired now too, Mary. A reading from Mary.
Oh, it's true, Joe. I feel it too. We're the same. Same. And I want to thank Joe for, if you all need help on a website, when he's got time, he's worth hiring and paying him to do it. So I just want to acknowledge your tech skills and all of that. So it's simply because, thank you, so I don't have to. It's worth the money. It's like, so, yeah. Joe has a lot of savvy skills that besides his great voice and the stuff that he does. So, when you need help with the voiceover or you need guidance on something, Joe's got a lot of different hats he can put on. So I will absolutely validate that.
Oh, that's very sweet. Yeah. Besides the great voice and the good looks, I got other skills.
That's right. That's right. I have skills. Come visit my skills. That's Scorpio too. That Scorpio sizzle. I have skills.
Hey, sometimes it's good to have skills that, you keep to yourself too. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
But Mary Ducina,
let people feel it.
maryducina.com. Go there. And she's got, believe it or not, Mary's got Cash App now. All right. So that is an amazing feat, because it makes it really easy. You could still do anything the way you guys usually do it. But if you haven't gotten a reading from Mary, like, get one. And then once it's over, especially, I always say this, especially if you're skeptical, then once it's over, contact me, because I love to hear those stories. Most of the time, those stories are like, man, I was skeptical, but whoa, man, like, whoa. And I'm like, I told you, just do it, because, she gets to spend a little bit more time. Even when when we get off the, sometimes when we have time, when we talk one-on-one, it's different, because it's different when it's one-on-one. It's better. The energy's more focused. So, and thanks, Mary.
It's all on you. Yeah.
When will we,
Thank you,
if
Joe,
we've been doing this 6 years, when will it reach 7 years we've been doing this? Every new moon. It's 6 years now, isn't it?
We're starting our 7th. We're starting number 7 as we go into 2026.
It's crazy. That is so crazy. Thank you, Mary.
It's great. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Be thankful, be grateful, and see wherever you can give, because that's the real magic. Even if you're giving the great story or the kind words to someone at whatever gathering or restaurant that you go to, make the difference with your presence. Let your presence be the gift this Thanksgiving. It doesn't have to cost money. Just let your presence be the gift that keeps on giving. Yep, that. Love you, Joe.
Love you too. Good night, y'all.
Thanks.
Sweet dreams.
Right,
take care of yourself. Take care of each other.